Occupy Wall Street still going strong all over the country. In fact, of course, it is now occupying many different cities, including Boston. Well, they were occupying Boston until the Boston Police Department stepped in. Let me show you a video of them first going after not just the protesters, but there are veterans in the front holding American flags. And you will partly see in this video, and that is video number 3 that we're going to start with. They are going to go and rip those flags off, and I'll tell you exactly what happened to these guys after we watch this video.
Be locked up for trespassing and unlawful assembly, all right? This is our last notice before we move in and clear the park, all right? So now is the time to move, or you're going to be subject to arrest.
They can't hear you. They can't hear you. I was just there. They can't hear you at all. They can't hear you.
Now, I'm going to tell you 3 different reasons or things that happened there, and then I'll tell you why they did this in the first place. First of all, they came in, and with only a 5-minute notice, they came in, and if you heard on the video, that's point number 2. People are saying, we can't hear you. What are you saying? They come in 5 minutes. They say, you got to clear out. Well, you're not clearing out. Too bad. Now we're going to come, and we're going to take all of you away. And then point number 3 is they destroyed all their stuff. They threw away in the garbage, and this is also recorded on other video, all their signs, flags, including the American flag, in the garbage. Can you imagine if they did that to a Tea Party movement? Fox News would be covering it 24/7. But of course, Fox News hates these guys because they're actually trying to threaten the banks and their connection to politicians. That's what Fox News wants to protect, of course. So they throw away all that stuff of the veterans, and then they take all the property, the tents, everything else that was in that area, and they throw it in the garbage. But that's the actual violation of the law, right? And, you know, they are painting this as civil disobedience. But just like civil disobedience during the civil rights era, Martin Luther King used to say, I'm not the one breaking the law. The schools should be integrated. That's what the Supreme Court decided. They just won't follow the law in the South. So I'm going there to try to help promote the actual law of the United States of America. And here they have freedom of speech rights. They have the right to protest. They have the right to gather and petition their government. It's the Boston Police Department in this case that's destroying their property and, in my opinion, breaking the law. So look, it reminds me of some quotes. There's a quote here. I will not tolerate civil disobedience. I will not tolerate it. George Wallace said that back in the 1960s, right? The governor of Alabama. No, he didn't? Oh, that wasn't him? And so then it must have been Bull Connor, right? The guy who turned the fire hose and the dogs onto the civil rights protesters in Alabama. I will not tolerate civil disobedience. Oh, it wasn't him? It must have been F.W. de Klerk, right? The man who was leading the apartheid government of South Africa. Must have said that about Nelson Mandela, right? No. It was Boston Mayor Tom Menino. Also, quote, when it comes to civil disobedience, I will not tolerate that at all. A second time. Well, that must have been Bull Connor. Nope. Again, Boston Mayor Tom Menino. You want to see it for yourself? Here it is. Let's go to clip number 5.
They wanted to take over, have a sit-in on one of the North Washington Street Bridge, and that was enough of enough. I always say I sympathize with their issues. Some of those issues we have to really look at in America. But when it comes to civil disobedience, I will not tolerate civil disobedience in the city of Boston. There are a lot of other folks in the city who live here and have to go about their daily chores, and I'm not going to allow people to paralyze our city.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why he actually did it in a second. But get a load of that, oh yeah, I kind of sympathize with their issues or whatever, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to crush the protest anyway. Now, he said it once there. He's going to say it 2 more times in the next clip.
You know, I understand they have the right to speech, but when it comes to civil disobedience, they don't have. I will not tolerate that at all. But the issues they talk about, the issue of greed, the issue of foreclosures, the issue of equity, I totally agree with them on, and I think we have to work together on those issues. But when it comes to civil disobedience, not in the city of Boston.
No, not in the city of Boston. We can't have civil disobedience. Thoreau must be turning over in his grave. The guy who originally pushed for civil disobedience from the state of Massachusetts, but apparently in the year 2011, we can't have it. So why did they do this in the first place? Well, it turns out the protesters were in Dewey Square Park, no problem. Then they got so large they wound up at the Rose Kennedy Greenway as well. Well, apparently we can't have that. And here's what a department spokesperson said on Twitter for the Boston police. Quote, the police wanted to curtail additional damage to newly developed green space, oh, how very nice, because the Greenway Conservancy recently invested over $150,000 in new plantings for all to enjoy. Now, what they don't tell you in that tweet is that the Greenway Conservancy is a private nonprofit organization that raised funds for that public park, and it is chock full of Boston's wealthiest financiers. So the people that are in the financial markets in Boston paid for that park, and they say, oh, no, 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 we're not going to have these protesters telling us that we can't make the money that we have been making in the ways that we've been making by buying the politicians. And by the way, that's not some sort of exaggeration. Right now, the banks in this country have an outstanding $1.5 trillion that they still owe the United States government. They talk about TARP. TARP is a tiny percentage of that. Overall, $1 trillion in the Fed and about $500,000 in the Treasury that the banks still owe us. So if they want to say, oh, they're great free market guys, fantastic. Why don't you buy back all that toxic mortgages that you dumped on the Fed to the tune of $1 trillion? Oh, and after that, you get rich off of it. You give a tiny little bit to a park, but God forbid that anybody should protest there. Then you tell the mayor and the cops, hey, 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 we run this city, and there shall be no civil disobedience. That's how it works. And that's the guys actually calling the shots, whether it's in Boston, Wall Street, or anywhere else. And that's what the protesters are so mad about. Now, there was an amusing moment, though, as the mayor was explaining what happened. He said something interesting. Let's see if you can catch it. Clip 4.
Yeah, what they did yesterday was occupy space that wasn't allotted to them. He said they could not go there, and they were hell-bent on pitching tents there. So that was part of it. Then they had the major demonstration.
They wanted to pitch their tents there. Only on the Young Turks. Can you take an incredibly serious story and be a total goofball about it? All right, look, that was outrageous what happened, and it was early Tuesday morning that happened, and we hope that in Boston they see right and that they allow the protesters to get back into those parks. We'll see how it develops. Over 100 were taken away, and we'll follow up on that. I think they're making a big mistake. All they're doing is encouraging more people to show up and actually exercise their rights as American citizens.